Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Infitech. In this video we are going to discuss about an interesting problem over LeetCode, which is nothing but the problem number 283, move zeros. So this problem is of easy level only, but I thought to make a video on this. So the problem is you will be given an array and you have to shift all the zeros to the end of the array. So move zeros to the end of array while maintaining the relative order of the non-zero elements. So all the non-zero elements order should not be disturbed, but if you find any zeros while traversing, you have to move it to the end of the array. So we should not make a copy of array, we should do this operation in place. And what other constraints we have? The length of the array is in between 1 and 10 to the power of 4, and rest are all normal only. So we'll try to visualize how can we solve this in an easy way. So let us visualize this now. Now this is the given array for us 0 1 0 3 12. Let's say we are going to take two pointers, which is I and j. I is going to start at 0th index and j is going to start at 1th index. So it's very easy. You will find the condition to swap the elements. Let's say if I and j are at wrong positions, you are going to swap the values at those indexes, otherwise you are going to increment the respective pointer. So there are only few conditions which you need to handle. The first condition is I should be always less than j, and j should at most go to the last element in the array. J must be less than length of nums array. So let's say in the if first condition, first possible scenario in our traversal could be, let's say if the element at ith index is equal to 0, okay, and if the element at jth index is not equal to 0. So what is our expectation? All the left part of array should be non-zero elements and all the right part of the array should be zeroth elements. In our condition it is reverse. So what we are going to do is we are going to swap the elements at I and j. So array of I comma j equal to array of j comma array of I. So that's all. So the element at ith index is not in correct position and element at jth index is not in correct position because of its values. And our second condition could be, let's say the element at ith index is equal to 0, okay, which means it is in wrong position. And if the element at j's index is not equal to 0, let's say it is equal to 0, our second condition, if both the elements at these indexes are 0, then what you're going to conclude is the element at the jth index is correct, because 0 should always be in the right part of the array and our j is going to be always greater than I. So you're going to increment j pointer. And the third condition would be, if there is any other case, like if the element at ith index is non-zero value, and if the element at jth index is 0 value, then you are going to simply increment both the pointers, because both the elements at these indexes are in correct position. So with this you are going to do the swapping of the elements in your array using the in place approach, and at the end your array will be in such a way that all the non-zero elements will be at the left and all the zeroth elements will be at the right. Now let's try to implement this in code. Okay, now we have this function called move zeros, which is giving us a num slice. I'm writing the code in Golang, and first base condition we could think of is, there is a constraint that the length of your num slice could be even 1. Now let's write a condition. If length num slice is less than 1, then simply return from the function. That means you don't do any in place operations for your num slice. Otherwise, you're going to write the logic which we have discussed. Now initialize your two pointers I comma j with 0 and 1 index positions, and then you're going to simply write a while loop saying your I should always be less than j and your j should always be less than length of the num slice, right? Now in your while loop, for every traversal, for the every element you visit at ith and jth index, you're simply going to check for the conditions. Your first condition is going to be if the nums of I is equal to 0 and nums of j is not equal to 0. This is our ideal conditions to make a swap operation. This is what we are aiming for. So that means if the value at ith index is 0, that means it is not in the right position. It should always go to the end of the array. Similarly, if it is a non-zero value, it should always go to the left of the array. That's all you are going to do. Nums of I comma j equal to I comma I, just swapping those two values. Otherwise, you have one more condition saying if your ith index value is 0, is not in correct position. If your jth index value is also 0, then your jth index value is in correct position. That's why I'm going to increment j. Otherwise, if your ith index value is not equal to 0 and your jth index value is equal to 0, then both the values are in correct position, then you're going to increment j. So that's all. Now let me try to run this. The sample test cases have been accepted. Now let's see for the other hidden test cases. Yeah, that's all the test cases have been passed and the solution has been accepted. Solve this problem, move zeros, which is an easy level. So that's all. Thank you for watching this video.